What's up, everybody? So I am here. This is one of my 20-gallon longs. There's another one down there, and there's another one here. And this has two captive bred spring salamanders. As you can see, they're trying to get out of the water. I am redoing their tank. My animal room is almost done, and I'm taking everything out. I'm going to put them in here. I got the snails and the cleanup crew, some rocks. I'm going to put the substrate and some of the plants in there. I'm going to clean the tank out. I'm going to get rid of the way this land portion is set up. I don't like seeing all this crap here. I'm going to have to redo it. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible and redo this. I'm going to get rid of that background that I have, which looks pretty cool. It's a universal rocks. I think I'm just going to redo the background myself, make it look a lot cooler with some wood and some rocks. And I'm just going to leave these things where they are and have like a creek bed in here instead of, I'll have a little bit of land, but barely any. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy this. I will keep you apprised as to the steps here. Tank now clean, barkeeper's friend / rubbing alcohol / razor scraper, and this is what you get. Bulkheads are already drilled because this is an old build, and then here is where I was draining the water. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about, is that if I don't have a cordoned off land area, I tested it, I water checked it, leak tested it, excuse me, and it's all good. No water leaks out of anything. But anyways, I don't know. I don't really want to have a dedicated land area. I'll have places where they can get out, and but I'm not sure yet. So we'll see. I'm going to just kind of feel this out as I go, but not worried. This is all going to be covered up with foam and stuff, so not really worried. So let's begin. Per usual, put the egg crate light diffuser and siliconed it down on the bottom because I want to have there's going to be a lot of rocks. I'm making a creek bed. And I want to make sure that these rocks, the weight's evenly distributed so it doesn't, this is only a 20-gallon tank, so I don't want any issues with it. Put it on the sides. I decided I'm just going to do the sides. I already had the bulkheads drilled and everything in the back. So just going to let this stuff dry. I'm trying to do this fast because, my salamanders are in that one on the left, that temporary one. I do not like doing this to these animals. Creates stress. But I really needed to redo this one. I guess I didn't have to redo it. I just really felt like my animal room's almost ready, and I really want an amphibian room, salamander, gallery. I don't really know what we want to call it, but the room is almost done, and I'm cleaning the filters. I want to get everything like nice and ready to get in there, and so I really felt like this is one of the tanks that needs to be redone, and there's another one that needs to be redone too. It's going to be a pain, but I want to do this one first. It's only 20 gallons, so hopefully this should be a quick build. And now I'm going to move on to the foaming once this stuff dries. Carved the sides with a wire brush drill bit, and it looks all right. I think there's some grooves and parts. I don't know. I think I'm going to use one of these hot knives to see if I can get a little bit more angular shapes versus what this is. I don't really know what this is going to end up looking like. I want it to match those rocks that you see there. And I don't know what this is going to look like. I think I can find a color that'll match it, but when you use the wire brush drill bit, it kind of doesn't, it's a different kind of shape. So I'm not sure how it's going to end up looking, but it is what it is. But I think I'm going to use one of the tools in here. There's like a one of those things which you can carve some stuff. So I'm going to try that now and see how it goes, just for a minute. And if it works well, then I'll use it to get a little bit more form in this. And if not, then I'll just paint it and try to get it as close as I can to the color and start foaming in the wood and putting in the rocks and just building out the hardscape. But that's it. Jumping ahead here, I actually went ahead and dry locked this and used the Quikrete. I covered up things with the painter's tape, as you can see. Put a base layer down that matched the rock as best I can that's going to go in here. And then I went ahead and I added some detail, some darker spots in the crevices, and then some lighter spots using a lighter color. But I used the buff Quikrete color and the charcoal Quikrete color. I have a lot of colors. I have the terracotta and the brown as well, but I used these. I think these worked well. I used a kind of like a dry brush technique, I guess. I don't know what it's actually called, but you just kind of lightly put on the lighter colors on top and it gives it that depth. So I'm gonna move on and just start foaming in wood. So I'm trying to figure out a preliminary scape. I've got some big rocks in here. I'm gonna start to foam them in. I kind of like the way this looks, but we're gonna have to see. It's just gonna be a lot of moss and things. Again, these are spring salamanders, so they're not gonna really need anything too crazy in terms of plants and stuff, because they typically live in and around streams, hence the name. But so yeah, I'm just working on this. I'm gonna foam a couple of the rocks in just so they're secure, just some of the bottom ones, fill in a couple areas where I don't want the salamanders to go. And then I'll start foaming in some driftwood and some other things and try to figure out how to plant this. That's gonna be the real obstacle here, is because there's not gonna be a lot of areas for any substrate or anything. So I'm just gonna have to figure out how to do it. But I'm gonna start scaping now. So I scaped a little more. I put some driftwood here, blended it in a little bit on top, foamed them in. I put some foam back here. I don't want the animals to get stuck somewhere weird. I want to give them hiding spots like under there and under that rock, but yeah, I didn't really need to use a lot of this stuff. I'll probably put one or two more of these rocks in, and then I have like another 5 or 6 rocks that I'm gonna put in that are actually in with the animals right now. Probably have a bunch of beneficial bacteria on them. So I'm probably just gonna let this dry a little bit. I think it looks pretty cool actually. And I have a bunch of moss. I'm gonna try to plant some plants in a few spots where I think they might grow. And yeah, just kind of take it from there and take the rest of the plants that were in that enclosure and probably put them in with my arboreal salamanders. But yeah, pretty cool. Liking this. I think the water it'll be a pretty cool effect. I'm gonna have rocks built up around that, obviously, so you don't see this, and it'll kind of just cascade down, and it'll just be like a creek bed, like a rocky creek bed. Usually I was really happy with the way that this background turned out. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. Did a lot of blending of colors, and as you can see, I think it's as close as I could get to these rocks and some of the other ones I'm going to be putting in. The other ones are actually even a little more red, so I think this one will be nice. So let's let it dry and move on. All right, well, I let this stuff dry for a good 24 hours. Everything seems pretty dry. I'm beginning to put in some of my substrate that I had before, which has got beneficial bacteria. It's established. I'm going to start putting a base layer in. I'm also putting in substrate behind things so I can plant some stuff. I also hooked the filter up. I'm using a Fluval 207. I'm using vinyl tubes, and I use hose clamps, as you can see, to come back in here. So that also I cleaned the filter out, but it also has beneficial bacteria because I've been using it. This is my helper, Ajax. Hey, say hello to everybody. Sounds good. So we are going to continue to put this stuff in, Ajax and I, and yeah, I will update you once I get the substrate in. I'm also going to put some river rocks at the bottom to make it a little more natural, and I have more rocks I'm going to be putting in here. That big rock right here in the middle is not going to sit like that. It's going to go flat across, but I have a lot more rocks I'm going to put in. So it's going to be a very rocky setup with some moss and a little bit of plants, but I'll show you soon. Alrighty, so let's see, what did we do here? Put the aquatic plants in. There's some Anubias, dwarf sag is pretty much all I put in here. Actually, there's that, I forget what that is. That's watercress up there. There's a lot more watercress. These are just the pieces, some of the rocks. I took some of the big rocks out. I put some branches that I found in the woods where I live and boiled them. And I put some other pieces of driftwood that were already in there, plus the Malaysian driftwood, as you can see, trying to make it like a stream. I think I'm achieving it. It looks pretty cool. Water is obviously pretty murky. Just getting it, gonna let it run for a little while. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some more moss and some plants. I think I might put some pothos and a ficus in. I'll try to see if those work. I know the pothos will. Pothos will also help filter the water. So I'm going to get a couple pothos cuttings, also put one of the ficuses in, and then lastly, I'm going to put some more moss because I love moss. I have some moss here, but it doesn't look that good. So we'll see. I'm going to do that. I'm going to see. That's actually Java moss, by the way. So there's already Java moss in here. So I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm going to let it clear up. I'm going to put some more stuff in and then be on the next step. Water is looking a lot more clear. I actually just did another water change just because I am absolutely paranoid. See, it's a little cloudy right there. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another water change. But anyways, it's getting a lot better. I'm probably going to put the salamanders in pretty soon. One thing I didn't talk about is these are my new cabinets. This is one for two 20 gallons longs. I'll just show you guys really quick. These are some of the custom cabinets that I had built for these. And as you can see, there's hinges, and I have my lights. I've had installed these little wooden boards, so I have my lights here, which is great. They're not, it's kind of like the optimal place. I got to put a lid on this, so I have to go grab my lid, but you know, really liking this. And I'll show you here. Pretty cool, huh? This is just one of them. I have two large ones. This is just for 2 tanks, but actually, this is another spring salamander setup down here. This one is huge. He's wild caught, and he is in there somewhere. Just did a nice water change, so things are nice and clear. Blacked out the sides because I didn't do the sides on this one, but I figured I'd show you guys. This is a really cool one. I never did a DIY on this. I had it for so long. But anyways, this is the one we're talking about now, so I am going to put salamanders in here next. All right, moment of truth. Here are the 2 spring salamanders. These are both captive bred. I got them, they were like half this size. And they had gills. So that one actually still has gills a little bit, as you can see. By the way, I had rocks and plants in here. That's why it's all dirty. I didn't have them in a in a bin just like this. I had a lot of the habitat, including some of those rocks and things like that. So anyways, always got to have gloves on, right, when you do this stuff. And I am going to put them in here. Let's do it. All right, time to get these guys in here. I'm going to take the one with the gills first. As you can see here, they're pretty big, about 6 inches. Just picking this guy up, and we'll put him on the land. Even though he still has a little bit of his gills left, I usually find him hiding under some moss, so he's changing pretty quickly. So I'll just put him here and then scoot him along, get him into a hiding spot so he's not too stressed out. Yeah, really happy with the way this one turned out. I built some underwater structure in case I get more of them, or these two, because I haven't sexed them yet, actually, to see if they will breed. Not that I'm trying to sell anything, because I'm not. It'd be interesting to see if that actually just happens. Grab the other one now. This was the first one to morph. I actually got his tail bit a little bit by the other one at some point a couple months ago, and it's started to grow back now, as you can see a little bit. But this one's super squirmy. He actually does a belly flop here in a second. It's really hard. You got to be so careful with them, and when you're trying to film, it's kind of a pain. So anyways, just always be really careful with them, because they they're delicate animals. I mean, they can regenerate limbs and tails and things like that, which is amazing. Let me get a better shot of him so you can really kind of see him in his new enclosure. Yep, boom. One of my favorite salamanders. These things are awesome. They are the absolute, the great whites of the streams. With other salamanders, they will eat other salamanders, like red salamanders. But anyhow, these are awesome, and I'm really psyched that you guys tuned in to watch this, and hope you enjoyed it. And one other thing I wanted to mention here is make sure you have a tight lid, because you're going to see here in a second what these guys do. They will always try to figure out their boundaries, their surroundings. That's my lid right there, by the way. So I have one. It fits tightly on this. They can't get out. But you're going to watch him. He's going to just go right up and try to just break out of here, because that's what salamanders always do. I don't know why, but they do. And you got to be really careful, because you don't want to end up with a mummified salamander somewhere in your house. It's terrible. I unfortunately, when I was younger, I had that happen. But anyways, really enjoyed making this build. I know it was a quick one. It wasn't the craziest one, but I'm really happy the way it turned out. I feel like it represents a stream, and really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it. And definitely subscribe, like, comment, and I will be back with some new builds shortly. I've got about 5 or 6 empty 40-gallon tanks that I'm going to be building here, and so expect a few more salamanders, and definitely a frog or frogs. So stay tuned. Appreciate it.